Hello everyone, this is Aosoft Now, and in this video, in this daily coaching newsletter and personal development perspective, I'll be talking about how a lot of things, more things going on with personal development and the newsletter for the day. It all starts with this idea of this personal development that you go through, that you are fed with by lots of books, mentors, coaches, all saying a lot of the same things about focusing on like spirituality or focusing on trying to attain a certain level of enlightenment or trying not to be in darkness or trying to fulfill your desires and open your doors to success. All these sort of things. Trying to go for betterment. Trying to be better and better and better. I have to say, that is a place to go, but not always. It depends on what you want. And if you really are, it's not that you're simple-minded or not, but I'm not trying to say anyone's simple-minded. It's just the focus here is that what if betterment is not necessarily the end or beginning of where you're starting from? Do you want to at least be at the norm or moderate? Just work with what you got and not trying to be better all the time? Because this continues something called the infinite regress problem. And the infinite regress problem makes you continually follow the same perspective over and over again. And getting back to this loop where you're fed with the same information and you learn nothing. In a case you know more and more and get more and more dumber, or more and more dumber and more intelligent, or I mean less and less dumber and more intelligent. But do you really want to follow this horizontal slice or vertical slice of what you're trying to do? I would say that it's not very supportive in where you're trying to go. And you think your desire comes from right here, a central area, or right here? It's just this desire that you feel, this want, doesn't need to be desensitized. You just need to find more areas where you can feel your wants and actually discover what you truly want. And when you discover what you truly want, you don't really understand what that is, and you feel a sense of purpose. Your old purpose might be different from the new purpose, but they have a lot in common. Because it's about looking for truth, but not being obsessed with truth, and not trying to inflict truth on others. In a way, it's a supportive way to actually benefit the community and benefit the world and help create a sense of not technically peace and not technically, I would say, detrimental immorality. There's this thing called order that we feel every day. We have a sense of order for a lot of stuff. Do you really want to feel a case of detrimental loss and crumbling down towers that you built without a building blocks, without a foundation? I know for one thing, sometimes I forget to build a foundation for what I'm building. But obviously, if we already created a foundation in the past, why need a new foundation? And how can you create a foundation when you don't even know how a foundation works? Thus, you need to get into constructive reasoning. This constructive reasoning actually can build profound places for your life to go on. Constructive communication with others, and somewhat deconstructed as well. And a preservation of what you're trying to look for as well. Now, I'm going to move on to another conversational topic. More for my personal newsletter. I got just done with personal development talk. Now, for my personal newsletter, I didn't do much today. Just drank a little bit. Right now, I'm cooking. Heard a lot of advice from a friend talking about his life path and what he dealt with in the past. and it gave me a little bit of glimmer of hope for my own life and how I view things, how things can change for me, because I wouldn't say I'm entirely successful, and I wouldn't say I entirely want to. I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm like Jordan Peterson, the guy that says that you need to be a psychopath to in order to accomplish what you need to do and to feel that sense of heroicness from conquering a part of yourself, because all of this in us is important. It's not technically sacred. You could call it sacred, but then when everybody thinks everyone else is sacred, where's the value in that? You lack value from that own perspective, and it starts to desensitize. All I gotta say is the spiritual world is no more than another currency. Even further, heaven, hell, just different types of currency, but different. Not as much and more freedom. But don't you want that type of freedom that your soul and spirit would feel in real life? Don't you want that type of freedom? It's great. And you can achieve that. How do you achieve that? By focusing on what freedom really means to you. Do you want to live as a constant slave to a world you created for yourself, birthed by the people that are part of your family, that generates the issue of social dynamic issues within a family, and also going to a school where people influence your own behavior, thus leading to this feedback process of who the fuck do I listen to? Where do I fucking learn my knowledge? Or learning it from a system K through 12, a system where you don't really learn much, but you learn a lot of stuff you can do for the workforce. Or at least you learn in a certain way that gives you more of a purpose to figure out what you want to do. But then years later you figure out that was a big mistake and you don't want to do that. But it's just like that. Sometimes life brings us things from the past that we already accomplished, and it tries to bombard us with that same thing. And it's because there is a lot of sameness in this world and the worlds around us. And I have to say, it's rather unique and beautiful. But indeed. So, more for this personal newsletter, I just want to say, what you really, like, what would be the greatest thing to look for if you want a relationship with someone is don't look for authentic, don't look for genuine, don't look for beauty, don't look for ugly, don't look for high status, low status, middle status. Don't look for anything like that. Search for how your heart feels around this person or how you feel around another person. Don't go for it. Take it as slow as possible, slower than ever possible, and become stronger than you can ever do before. But then try to find the humbleness to understand you're not as strong as you think, and continue that process. Thus, learning that it's a never-ending game where you can constantly. See, that's where I'm wrong. It's not a game. It's kind of like a play, but not a play in the way you think. It's kind of like something you can never correspond to or even think to understand. And even I don't completely. Maybe I do. I'm not trying to say I'm better than anyone. I'm not trying to say I'm worse than anyone. But I just cherish the ideas I have, and I cherish the journey I had today. I feel like I did a lot of good, and a lot of different type of good in moralities that I can't even quickly or slowly understand. But this video is about to be over. I just want people to comment, like, subscribe, and keep watching. I'm probably gonna upload this on Facebook too, probably on my Instagram. So I'm trying to talk about more topics that actually work and actually have a focus too, because I'm more and more as the days go on, I'm starting to have more of a very organized way of speech, organized way of thinking, and yeah, just pay attention if you want. Don't pay attention. Comment how ugly I am. It doesn't matter. So keep in touch. and see ya.